it's William and TIX through thick and thin. No matter which country's gonna win.
So, TIX, first of all, how are you?
I feel like the yellow thing inside the egg.
Oh,
Yeah.
the yolk.
Yeah, the yolk. Yeah. It's a Norwegian expression. It basically means feeling as comfortable as you can be.
Oh, nice. It's also very delicious. It's my favorite part of the egg as well.
I've never tried it, but yeah.
Oh,
Not
okay.
raw, at least.
I'm loving the energy. Breakfast is on my mind now, though I'm really hungry. Where are you, TIX?
Right now, I am at the NRK headquarters, which is the Norwegian broadcaster.
Ah, okay. I like the Norwegian wood behind you.
Yeah, this is probably built like 1,000 years ago. It seems like, it feels like I'm in a Viking movie.
And one thing I'm really curious about is sort of the relationship between TIX, the pop star, and Andreas, the person. I guess, when did Andreas create TIX and why?
Well, I guess you get a sense out of it after watching the music video. The TIX character kind of emerged gradually, I guess, basically as a defense mechanism. Yeah, started when I was about 14, 15 years old, and it became more apparent probably when I was like 20, 21, 22, I guess. Yeah, it wasn't really that well planned, but it just kind of happened. And I don't really know how to explain it. It's at least not in English. It's but you get a sense out of it in the music video, I guess.
Yeah, actually, maybe that's a good way to explain this, because we've just seen the music video, which it's very touching, very emotional. And I think it does fill in the blanks for people. Maybe walk us through the music video, which does tell your story.
Basically, we had a lot of options when we were going to make this music video. There were many possible scripts, and I decided that, okay, let's just scrap everything and let me think for 1 minute. And in 1 minute, I really put the pressure on myself. And in 1 minute, I came up with the idea that, okay, let's just tell the story of how I became TIX, especially since this is my first English song for an audience that doesn't really know that much about me.
It's so interesting, the video. I think you capture a feeling many people will understand of being bullied, of maybe classmates not being so nice. And if I'm not mistaken, this comes down to living with Tourette syndrome. Could you maybe explain to people what that is in case they don't know?
Having Tourette syndrome basically means that you have a lot of uncontrollable movements and noises, and those movements are called tics. In my case, I have around 1,000 different tics, but I've become really good at hiding them. So throughout my life, things that most people do spontaneously, I usually need to prepare extremely well for in order to be able to kind of like keep my tics in check, I guess. Like doing interviews, for example. So that's why I haven't done that many interviews yet, because to me it becomes really, really exhausting and really time consuming. But this is nice.
You've got charisma. Honestly, I'm like, yes, TIX.
Thank you. Oh.
So in the music video, then we see the young, I guess it would be Andreas at that point, and the kids at school are maybe not so nice. Are those real examples of things that happen to you, like people shoving you or people, imitating you?
Yeah, I wanted to show something that was real, and I wanted to tell a story basically using different scenes from my own life that I kind of thought fit well together. And I guess there are hundreds of scenes that I could have used, but the ones in the music video was kind of the first ones that came to mind.
And what I love is when Andreas takes like a white cloth and puts it on his head like a headband, and we start to see you changing. What triggered that change and the look?
Growing up with Tourette's, the last thing I wanted to do was to stand out. I just wanted to fit in. And when people started calling me TIX, I decided to take ownership of the name, and this TIX character kind of slowly emerged. The sole purpose of TIX was to stand out. I mean, TIX is like the character is just like the definition of standing out. He's not afraid of being flashy. I guess TIX kind of became the character, kind of the superhero that I really wished I had when I was young, and for many other kids out there.
In the music video, we kind of get the sense that you find music. So when did you find music?
I guess I was 13, 14 years old. Yeah. When I was 13, 14, I guess. And I started playing the guitar. I was playing until my fingers bled. Playing from I woke up and until I went to sleep. After that, I started playing the piano, and the piano felt kind of easy. So I wanted to make my own songs, but I didn't really have anyone to play in a band with. So I figured, okay, I have to make the music on my own. So I started producing songs. Ever since, I've been used to doing like all the production, all the songwriting, and basically everything on my own, because that was my only way to make songs. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think I am the only artist that has produced my own song, like entirely on my own.
Yeah, it's hard for me to think of someone else who's done everything. The fallen angel is rising above. Now, TIX, at what point did you realize you had a real talent? You obviously enjoyed the piano and the guitar and production, but when was the moment you're like, whoa, I've got something here?
I think I knew from very early on, but it became more clear to me the first time I heard someone sing along to one of my songs. And after that, I guess a new milestone was when my concerts started to sell out. That's really the biggest accomplishment and the biggest kind of validation you can get in the music industry. There's nothing topping sold out shows. If it's sold out, it's sold out. Nobody, like, it doesn't matter if you get an award or if you get a billion streams, it's sold out.
And you, of course, did get an award recently, the very prestigious Spellman Artist of the Year, the Norwegian Grammy, which is huge. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You looked surprised in the video. Were you actually surprised?
I wasn't surprised that I was considered, but I was surprised that I actually got it, because I didn't think the Norwegian music industry would dare to give it to me. So that was surprising. And I was recording a TV show, playing a concert for like some of the most enthusiastic TIX fans out there. And I was just right in my element. So the award itself didn't really mean that much right then and there, because I was already, like, I felt at home. But looking back at it after, that was just definitely a huge moment. Once I started getting messages from people telling me how I was saving lives, that's the biggest validation you can get ever, period.
Wow.
And that, I guess that also kind of answers the other question about like when I understood that I had a talent. Or maybe that was the moment when I understood what my talents can do, I guess.
TIX, you're such a big name, and this is very well known. So
it's a really short name, actually. It's just 3 letters, but they're written in gold. So
those 3 letters carry a lot of weight. And you could have been an MGP maybe anytime you wanted to. Why this year? Why 2021?
Because I think this year it's more important than ever to unite people. It's a time where we're drifting apart because of the pandemic. I think the Norwegian people needed a reminder that things are going to get better. I really wanted my message out there this year. I actually tried to enter the competition 10 years ago, but I was rejected. And I can understand that. The song was pretty awful. But look at me now.
I hope you released that song from 10 years ago. It'll probably go to #1 on Spotify.
No way. No way that song is going to be released ever.
And Fallen Angel, this of course is a massive hit in Norway, and now Europeans are discovering it. When did you start writing it, and how did you get started?
I was in the studio alone producing, and I made the instrumental for Fallen Angel. I had this feeling at the time that I really wanted to try to explain, but I couldn't find the words. So I decided to just, okay, let's just give it a try. I'll set up my microphone and just hit the record button and let's see what comes out. And I did one single vocal take. The melody in that vocal take was basically the whole melody of Fallen Angel. So it just came like this. And that's what started the song. That was 2 years ago. Ever since, I've just kind of had that melody in the back of my head. And I couldn't really find the right lyrics. I've written like 10 different versions in Norwegian. Eventually I came up with I'm a Fallen Angel. And then it just hit me, okay, this is gonna be it. And I called the Norwegian broadcaster and I said, okay, I'm in. Let's do it. A bunch of people recommended me not to compete, but I really wanted to get my message out there. So I decided to enter the competition anyway. And the purpose was just to get my message out there. But the melody is basically the whole song, because whenever I hear that melody, it just stings in my heart so bad all the time, every time.
The words you've chosen, the lyrics, they also capture that emotion, that pain. You sing, I'm still not sure what you ever saw in me. And you say, it's not fair to keep this angel here. What is this about? Are you singing as Andreas? Is this Andreas's story about someone? Is it more general?
Are you asking me if I can tell the story of the song?
Basically, yeah.
Well, nope, I can't. Sorry, but I really think people should try to put the pieces together and interpret the song in their own ways. What I can say is that it's definitely more about Andreas than TIX. I can also say that I watched your interpretation of the performance, and that is probably the closest anyone has ever gotten to describe the thoughts in here about the song. It was very, so accurate. Oh, tusen takk! Woo! Some Norwegian going on here.
Tusen takk for et fantastisk show, because it was so emotional. But it took some time for me to kind of figure it out. But when I did, like now, I'll watch it over and over. I'm ready to go. Like, let's hit replay.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you. Yeah, I was seriously really impressed by interpretation, because I hadn't really figured out, okay, at the time when I watched this, I was trying to figure out, okay, how am I gonna tell my story in English? What am I gonna say? Like, how do I explain this? And then I watched your interpretation, and I actually showed it to my record label, and I said, "This is it. He said it." Okay.
That is awesome to hear. Thank you. And the staging, this has been talked about all over Europe. The wings, these glorious wings. I guess, could you tell us how that relates to the song, or I guess why you wanted to go that route?
To me, the staging in Oslo was really the only option, because when I made the song and whenever I picture myself performing it, this kind of just sets the scene for the whole song. It's something about this loneliness and the darkness, but still that small sense of hope. This was also actually a decision that was made in like less than a minute. We were supposed to have a really long meeting and come up with the staging for my performance. And I started the meeting by saying, okay, let me just brainstorm for a minute. And then I hit the timer on my cell phone, set it to 1 minute, and what you see is what you got. I guess I just kind of had that vision from ever since I started making the song. I kind of picture myself singing it alone. But there's one thing to perform a song alone, And there's a whole other thing to perform it with something holding you back, something that tries to prevent you from singing. It's something that, like, you can be the hero on stage, but it's even harder to be the hero if the enemy is there. I actually think the song would have maybe a greater chance of winning, and it would be even more beautiful if I was just performing it with a piano and the staging was different. But I chose this staging because it makes the message even more clear. It really paints a picture. And to me, that's more important than the placement I get eventually.
But are those wings uncomfortable?
Yeah, they are. Absolutely. 100%.
Will we be seeing those wings in Rotterdam?
There will be wings. There will also be some changes, some upgrades. And well, I mentioned this before, but in Norway, I'll perform this song 4 times. I kind of freestyled every time. I never really know what I'm going to do. And in Rotterdam, even the Norwegian broadcaster has been a little concerned about how I'm going to perform the song. But I really just haven't answered their emails. So let's see how it goes.
All right, taking us on a ride. I love the danger.
Absolutely. I'm taking myself on a ride as well. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have a vision. I'm going to try to stick with it.
Our vision of you includes the #1 dice that you wore during the grand final of Melodi Grand Prix. What was that about for those of us outside of Norway who may not understand?
In Norway, when we're rating songs in music reviews, we use the numbers on a dice starting from 1 to 6. So 6 is the best review and 1 is the worst. When I entered MGP, I was just slaughtered by their reviewers. I got the lowest ratings everywhere. So I got 1 on the dice. And the thing was, they wasn't really talking that much about the song, but more about me, both as an artist, but also as a person. The day I was playing at the national finals in Norway, I decided to wear that dice as a statement, just to say that, okay, you can say whatever you want, but I'm still here and I'm still going to sing my heart out and I'm going to spread my message.
Oh, and this leads us...
In the beginning, as you can see, I'm like picking up the dice and then I'm waving, basically saying,
"Hey, haters." This leads to what is one of the most beautiful moments, I think, of the Eurovision year, when you give this speech. And we watched it with subtitles, but could you just tell us what you told Norway when you won?
I basically said, for a long time, I've been feeling kind of like the ugly duckling in the fairy tale, both in my childhood and growing up, but also in the music industry. I felt like an underdog. Well, it turns out one day this ugly duckling is going to grow up into a swan. I just really hope that all the ugly ducklings out there understand that one day everyone will see them grow into swans.
Ooh, I get the tingles even now. Honestly, your emotion made us emotional through the computer screen. It was crazy.
Thank you.
You seemed surprised. And I guess that surprised me because a lot of people were saying, of course, TIX will win. He's hugely popular and it's a good song. But you were surprised.
Yeah, well, I put my money on Kaino. Yeah, I wasn't really expecting to win. I don't know if I was surprised. I just didn't really expect it. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. But
no, I know what you mean. There is a difference.
I guess I had considered that I might actually win. But once it happened, I was just really, really grateful because it meant that a lot of people actually got the message that I was trying to get out there. Turned out it really resonated with people.
And you've inspired so many people, not just in Norway, but all over the world, whether they have Tourette syndrome or not. You found your superpower in music, but other people, maybe they don't have music as a superpower. Can you give them any advice on how to deal with bullying?
There's an expression that I often use in Norwegian that goes like, enten går det bra, eller går det over, which means it will either be okay or it will pass. And I guess that's something to keep in the back of your mind. Things will get better.
And swerving away, this may seem a bit silly, but I find it so interesting. You were on Paradise Island, this very popular TV show. I'm curious, what is paradise to you?
I guess paradise, maybe somewhere people can just be whoever they are and whoever they want to be.
And they have to have your Spotify playlist. Let's keep it real.
That will make it a much better place, obviously.
And one thing, we follow you on Instagram and we sometimes see this cat, this amazing cat.
Yeah, that's my cat. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you have a very close relationship with Kitty? Because I also have two cats.
Tearing up now just talking about it. Please stop. Yeah, there's a story about that cat, and I guess you can find some YouTube clips about it. There are a couple interviews I've done. I like both cats and dogs and dinosaurs and dolphins, rainbows and ponies and unicorns. Have you seen the Lindmo interview? You haven't. If you watch it, you will understand the thing about the cat.
Sliten og så desperat, og etter å komme meg ut av alt sammen. Jeg skriver et avskjedsbrev, og så skriver jeg et testamente. Jeg ble sittende på gulvet og gråt, og jeg var så redd. Og så kommer katten min inn. Han heter Findus. Og stryker seg inntil beina mine. Og så legger han seg i fanget mitt. Det pleier han ikke å gjøre. Og så begynner jeg å prate med han. Sier jeg til han, Findus, ingen av mine venner skjønner at jeg har problemer. Det er bare meg. Så hva gjør vi nå? For jeg vil ikke leve. Men jeg vil jo ikke dø.
Yeah, the cat is showing up because the cat is basically my best friend. Has been for the last 16 years. He has just kind of become this symbol of hope, I guess. Yeah, when you watch the interview, it's going to be pretty clear. You haven't watched it? Like, seriously?
I haven't, and I'm a total cat person, so the moment it comes out, I'm going to be rewatching it, like, repeatedly.
You're going to cry your eyes out. Or, well, I did, but I kind of hope you don't. But if you like cats, then you probably are.
Finally, do you have a message for all of your new international fans here on Wiwibloggs?
Guys, people evolve differently through life. So you should be proud of who you are right now and who you're going to be.
Thank you so much. That was the perfect message to end this beautiful interview. He is TIX, the fallen angel who is rising over Europe. We're so... We can't wait to see you in Rotterdam. TIX, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.